So, pretty much as everyone knows, horses are very expensive. And so I wanted to find out exactly how much it costs per year to own my event horse and to compete him. Now, my event horse is a 1-star eventer, which is prelim level in the US. I'm not sure about the UK, but he is a more higher level eventer. So this is Jericho, and he just got out of his paddock. Hence me catching him. Gerry goes to competitions quite regularly during the year, which does involve a lot of expenses, obviously. So today we're going to be narrowing down every single cost that comes with owning and competing an event horse. So in my opinion, the most important thing about owning a horse is its feed, because obviously horses need to be fed, and for event horses the feed is very important because it really does need to be high quality, because these horses are pretty much at peak fitness, which obviously comes with a price tag. Thankfully, Gerry is a very cheap horse to run. He only gets 2 scoops morning and night of wheat and chaff, and 1 scoop morning and night of Easy Result. And now he also gets 3 scoops of Nutrilite for the vitamins and electrolytes and all other things that he may need. Not about you, this video. It's not about you. So, how much does Gerry actually cost to feed? With my incredibly accurate calculations of individually scooping the chaff into a bin and the Easy Result into a bin and counting every single scoop, I calculated that 1 bag of chaff lasts for 34 feeds, which is 17 days. 22 bags of chaff he goes through per year, and they're $20.30 each. And that is $447 per year, which is actually not really that much in my opinion. The Easy Result, he goes through 30 feeds, and so it's 1 fortnight, and so he goes through 26 bags per year. That is $38.30 each, and it is $996 per year. The wheat and hay he goes through quite a bit of. Every day he has 2.5 biscuits or flakes of hay, and he goes through, therefore, 146 bales per year, and that is $14.50 each. That is $2,117 per year. And currently with the drought in Australia, the prices are up as well. So in total, it costs $3,560 per year to feed Gerry, which is really not that much compared to most horses, especially those competing his level. Now, the supplements he gets is Nutrilite. I'm actually sponsored by this company, and the company is VetSense. For 1.5 kilograms, it is usually $43.60, and so that lasts 50 feeds, and that is 7.3 of those tubs per year. It actually goes down in price when you buy more, so it is cheaper than that. And yeah, Gerry is currently on that, and because I'm sponsored, thankfully I don't have to bear that price. But normally it would be about $330 per year for supplements for Gerry. So the competitions I've gone to in the last year with Jericho, I've gone to a reasonable amount, probably not as many as a lot of 1-star eventers, not as many perhaps as some that are in this state that I compete with. They go to probably more show jumping competitions, and they probably do some more interstate competitions than me. But there are also 1-star eventers that do very few competitions, and they only do like 3 or 4 or 5 a year, and just the local ones. In the last year, I did Ranella last year, and that was 162 for Gerry to be entered. Then I did canoe tree, which was $60 because it was only dressage and show jumping, just a combined training competition. And they were both at 1-star level. I did Southern Vales Dressage Club, which was only $35 and just one dressage test. Then I did Mount Gambier show jumping. That was $125 for Gerry's entries plus $50 for the stables overnight. Kirkcaldy, which is just a local event just around the corner, was $145. Strath show jumping was $40. Ranella for this year was $170 because they put their prices up. State Championships show jumping was $90 for just Gerry's entries plus $200 for the fees of the show and stables. Lockington Horse Trials was $153. Naracoorte Horse Trials was $175. Canoe Tree was $70, Melbourne International was $842. The stables along with that were $325 as well. Friends of Werribee was $188 for the entry and the stables were $175 for 3 nights. And so in total, in entry fees in the last year, I have spent $2,255 with Jericho. And then the stables on top of that were $750. So the accommodation at competitions, Mount Gambier show jumping was about $300 for 3 people. Naracoorte Horse Trials was $300 for, again, 3 people. Friends of Werribee was $500 for 2 people. And the total of accommodation for me and my family at events was $1,100 in the last year. In total, for competitions in the last year, I have spent $4,105. It's already adding up, guys. Okay, this was a scary one. I didn't realize exactly how much this cost until I started calculating everything. For the fuel and towing the float behind the car and how much the car costs, for traveling to these competitions, it is about $30 an hour for the fuel. But also when considering the tires, the fuel, the car and float depreciation, like how much it goes down in value the more you use it, and how much servicing costs, all that sort of thing costs, because, you know, it is a big car and it's obviously having to work quite hard when it tows the float. When including all of those, like the repair costs and all that sort of thing, it'd be about 70 cents per kilometre, including the float. So for just Werribee, it was about 712 kilometres, and so that's times 2. And that is 70 cents per litre, times 2 because I went there and back obviously. So that cost about $1,000 to drive there and back with the car and the float, and including all the extra stuff that comes with it. So we have owned the car that we tow the float with for 3 years. We bought it at 220,000 kilometres and it's now done 280,000 kilometres. And the vast majority of that has been pulling the float because we don't really use it aside from just that. And so we've probably done about 50,000 kilometres with our car, the Range Rover Sport. So 50,000 times 0.7 is $35,000 in the last 3 years. And probably 2/3 of the time was pulling Gerry in the float. So the other times might have been just Pino and Dexter or just one of the other horses. And so that would be $23,000. We divide that by 3 because we've had it for 3 years. So for 1 year, it would be $7,700 for the fuel and towing a float and the depreciation of the float and the car. So that's a little bit expensive. It's already looking a little expensive, guys. So now, next, medication. Gerry does get a little bit just to minimise the effects that eventing can have on a horse, so prevent arthritis and that sort of thing. So he gets Pentosan, and he gets 5 vials every 6 months because he does spend some months out of work. So for those months you don't have to give them Pentosan. So from Aussie Pet Meds, it costs $350 for 5 vials of Pentosan. So it is $700 a year to prevent Gerry's arthritis. So the vet fees for Gerry from this time 2017 to this time in 2018. The only time he actually went to the vet in that time was in May this year because he was leading up to his first international and I wanted him to be in peak fitness and like fully checked out. In May 2018, we spent $850 at Morpheville Vet with Gerry. That included foresight, and it included hock x-rays and checkup, etc. And the foresight is like another Pentazan, is same sort of thing, so you can have them on both. And I did that leading up to Melbourne to make sure he was completely fine. And also in May, I spent $186 filling out his FEI passport so he could compete at international level. So in that period of time, we spent $1,036 on the vet for Gerry. Okay, so the farrier. So my farrier I've used for a number of years, and he knows Gerry very, very well, and he's actually fairly cheap, which is nice. He gets the farrier 8 or 9 times per year, and that works out to be $1,050 per year getting his shoes done. Now the gear. The gear is hard because I spend a lot on my own rider clothing. I didn't realise until I worked it out, and I was like, oh dear, that's not good. So for just Gerry, tack and stuff like that, sort of stuff for eventing, I got a double bridle from PS of Sweden that was $715. I bought high impact brushing boots, which were $24. I spent $70 at Horseland, $110 at Brighton Saddlery, not sure what that was from, and $56 at Southern Sport Horses. I also got cross country back boots for $250. A lot of it is mainly my stuff. I'm not going to really include that because it's my rider stuff, you don't have to buy it. I also got a competitor bib number holder, $15, hit air saddle attachment, $18. And they're the kind of things that are just solely for eventing that I got this year. And so that works out to be about $1,450 on tack and gear. So stable and property gear that I used on Gerry: electric fences, 95 times 2, generator 110, so $300 on stable and property gear. It's probably a lot more than that, but that's all I could think of that I had used for Gerry. Rugs, I spent about $200 at Caribou, $80 on repairs, and then an extra $100, so that is $380. Now grooming gear. Grooming gear, it's hard to say. I don't really spend a whole lot, so I've got like Fungifite cream because Gerry, he gets some like fungal infections, and his coat can sometimes be a bit iffy. He gets little bumps sometimes. So that's $15, $14 for Aloe shampoo and conditioner, $16 for that, and then also fly spray. So that is however much. I'll probably say that I spend about $100 on grooming gear per year on Gerry, like that sort of stuff. I clip Gerry 2 to 3 times per year in the winter, and so that is $100-ish. However, I got a friend to do it the 3rd time, so it is $260 that I spent this year on clipping Gerry. This is expensive already. And physio and chiro, I went almost like a year and a half without actually getting him done, but now I do it very consistently with Gerry because he's at that level now. So it's $110. That includes travel fees. I get him probably 5 times per year with Gerry. Once when he goes back into work earlier in the year, then once in competition season, once ideally before he goes out of work, once when he comes back into work, and then once when he's in competition season again, because there's kind of a gap in the middle in winter in Australia, so he gets a break in the middle of summer and then a break in the middle of winter. It's $550 for chiro and physio per year for Gerry. Lessons. I used to get lessons every single week for $80. However, now I only get them about twice a month, and that mainly is clinics. So clinics are a lot more expensive, but because I'm on the state squad, I get clinics with the state team. It averages out to be about 2 a month. For my 2 regular trainers, I probably only see them about 8 times a year for both of them. So that's 8 times 60, and that works out to be $480 a year for lessons. Now for clinics, I have about 3 per year with our state show jumping eventing coach that we get in from interstate, and that is $220 per clinic, and so that is $660. So that works out to be $1,140. Hiring out arenas. This is something that most people would forget, but I kind of just thought I'd throw in as well because I'm trying to make this as accurate as possible, as you probably can tell. So in the last year, I've hired out McLaren Park Equestrian Centre twice at $15 each. Nothing. I know. Kirkcaldy I have gone to once and that was $25. Ranella I've been to twice and that was $45. And Monado I've been to once, which was $25. And that totals to $170. Now this is something that people would also forget, and a lot of people don't even have to pay for because they don't bother with photos and videos and stuff. But because obviously I am, I guess, a social media influencer in some ways, I don't know, does it count because I do horse stuff? I don't know, I'm a horse social media influencer, I guess. And so because of that, I think it's really important to buy videos and photos, and I also just like seeing what me and the horse look like and being able to share it with you guys because, you know, this is one of my jobs. Doing this for you guys, performing for you guys because I'm brilliant at this, clearly. Ranella in 2017, I spent $20 for photos. Oh my god, big spender. Okay, Jenny Barnes photography from Kirkcaldy earlier this year was $30. Photos from Ranella this year was $30. SA State Show Jumping Championships was $75 and $60. And photos from Canoe Tree plus Ranella training was $70. Photos from Melbourne was $60. Snaffle It photography from Mount Gambier show jumping was $30. And photos from Friends of Werribee was $25. I'm sorry that I don't have some of the names of the photographers, but I can't remember some of them off the top of my head. And so that is a total of $400. And that's what I mean, like it's a decent amount of money that I thought you should probably add it in. Now videos, like rider videos and stuff. I spent $75 on a rider video from Ranella 2017. And this was by Ride Along Videos, I think that's what they're called. Rider video from Melbourne International 3-day event was $30 because I was eliminated, and that was by Rider Video. And Rider Video from Friends of Werribee was $75. So it was $180 in total for rider videos. And so finally I find out with you guys, how much does Gerry cost per year to compete and own and run and everything else? I don't know. Okay, I'm not including his supplements because I don't pay for them, so we're not bothering. So the total cost, I'm like exhausted from finding this out. The total cost of owning and competing Jericho per year is $23,081. Now, the sad thing is that this could be a lot more expensive because I have friends that pay $200 per week to adjust their horses, or $250 including feed. $250 times 52 is $13,000 just on adjustment and feed. That's not including like floating, competition entries, supplements, fuel and towing car costs, medication, vet fees, farrier, like that is. So yeah, $23,081 it costs to compete an event horse. That's like people's wages. So yeah, if that didn't make you guys depressed, then you're rich. Whoa. I know people are really curious about this sort of thing and knowing how much things exactly cost. So if you guys want me to calculate how much Dexter and Pinot cost, they'll probably cost a bit less. Fingers crossed, because they eat a lot more but they don't do nearly as much, like they don't compete in really expensive competitions and all that sort of thing. But yeah, if you guys want to know how much my other horses cost, hit me up and click on my ads on my videos so I can afford my horses. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me become more and more depressed. Love you. Bye.